Imagine for a moment that you want to go from point A to point B. How or what do you think is the first thing that you have to know? The first thing is definitely to know that you are at point A, isn't it? Similarly, in our growth, be it in our career growth or personal growth, we have to know where we are standing. And how do we know where we are, or on which level we are, or which place we are? It is through self-awareness, isn't it? You have to know where you are in order to grow or improve from that point. That self-awareness acts as a reference point. Hello, welcome to Life Skills with Vinuta, and in today's video I'm going to give you 3 more tips on how we can be more self-aware. So let's get started. So the first tip would be to take time for yourself. I know this sounds very difficult. Life is so busy right now and we all are running on tight schedules, and making time for ourselves seems almost impossible. But unless we take time for ourselves and spend time with ourselves, we cannot give our best. We cannot be our best and we cannot give our best, be it to ourselves or our family or our friends or at work. So taking time for yourself is very, very important. And what do we do by taking this time out? You take time to be alone and you spend time doing whatever that makes you happy and connects with your inner self. You can read, you can write, you can meditate, you can do whatever you want, but you have to be alone and do the activity that gets you connected with your inner self. That is the key. So try spending a minimum of half an hour with yourself, be it in the early mornings or late at night, because that is usually the time that we get for ourselves. So whatever time suits you best, you can pick that and spend 30 minutes a day with yourself alone, just pondering your thoughts or reading, writing, meditating, whatever makes you happy and whatever makes you connected with yourself. So that would be tip number 1, to take time for yourself. Now tip number 2 would be to practice mindfulness. And when I say mindfulness, it is just to be in the present moment, at the present now. And how do we do that? You can practice mindfulness throughout the day or whenever possible. All you have to do is bring your attention to the present and now. Like for example, right now I'm speaking and my mind is right here rather than thinking what are the other things that I need to do. So that is mindfulness. And when you're mindful, there are certain things or thoughts that keep coming back to your mind. Maybe you have a meeting, maybe you have an exam or a presentation, and that keeps coming to your mind regularly when you're trying to focus on now. What do you do at that time? Don't try to block it, because that doesn't help. When these thoughts come, just acknowledge them, just observe and say to yourself, okay, maybe I am feeling a little tensed about the meeting which will happen tomorrow, or maybe I am feeling a little anxious about the presentation that I have to give now. Just state it out, that's all. So whatever happens, come back to the present. Just observe the thought, and if you want, say it out loud and come back to the now and here. So that would be my tip number 2, is to be mindful, and that means to focus on now and the present. And the last and final tip for today's video is tip number 3, is to write a journal. Writing is a great way of processing your thoughts and feelings, and it really helps. So you can write down what you're feeling, and if you're not very comfortable writing down, you can just start with 1 or 2 sentences each day. You can just say that I'm feeling this at this moment, and that is good enough. You can start with this practice. When you start writing down, having a documentation or logging in your thoughts and feelings gives you much more clarity, and you can always see a pattern or refer to them later. This definitely helps in your self awareness journey. So, these were the 3 tips that will help us become more self aware. And as I had said earlier, it is important to practice self awareness and not just know them. Thank you so much for watching. This is Vinuta, and please do subscribe, like, and share the videos to get so that you don't miss any of my content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.